Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship. Warning, censorship.
Remember Clara Peller, Wendy's delightful spokeswoman from the 1980s? She's the one who used to bellow, "Where's the beef?" in reaction to ever-shrinking hamburger patties. But who could imagine that "where's the beef" would be taken so literally in the 21st century, given that beef patties are being replaced outright by veggie burgers? But what was a red-hot fad just a few short years ago seems to be cooling off big time given the slumping sales of fake meat. How odd. Weren't we all supposed to be saving the planet by consuming one veggie burger at a time? Well, with more on this reversal of fortune on the faux meat front is the head honcho of the Washington-based Climate Depot. That would be Marc Morano. Welcome to the Ezra Levant Show, Marc.
Thank you, David. Happy to be here today.
Always a pleasure, my friend. So, Marc, what's the deal with the phony baloney?
Well, there's a long deal. There's a big deal with the phony meat, fake meat. This has been going back years. First of all, in summer of 2019, I believe it was 2018 or 19, 2019, Al Gore came out and did an IPO on his company with Beyond Meat, which he had invested heavily in. His quest was to be the world's first fake meat billionaire. And he could have made it, and he still might make it, because he rode with a whole bunch of regulatory schemes coming in to regulate meat and make it more expensive. He came on with the United Nations issued an agriculture report that said that, cow emissions are more deadly to the planet than all the transportation of planes, trains, and automobiles combined. So Al Gore is trying to do that. So what they did is they came up with this Beyond Meat burger, which even a CNN nutritionist, David, said was basically disgusting and not healthy. This is CNN. It's 20-some processed vegetable oils thrown together, high in fat. They said if you really want to eat better, eat a lean turkey burger or other kind of lean meat. It's much healthier for you, and it would taste better. So what's happened here is they were hoping the pandemic, the climate, the COVID-19 lockdowns would force their hand, but they had a really disappointing quarter, and now the fortunes of fake meat are looking down.
And, tell me, Marc, I have heard that criticism of the faux meat from nutritionists, that the amount of processed foods in this, if you think you're doing your body a favor, think again. And you just said, a lean turkey breast, which is real meat, would be a better alternative. But what about, this environmental argument that we've heard for decades that sustaining cattle farming and beef production, there is such a huge environmental toll on the planet for us to enjoy meat outright. Is there any scientific validity to that, Marc?
I mean, there's certainly a toll locally, not in terms of the methane. There's two different issues here. And this actually applies, David, to any kind of energy source, first of all, or any kind of source of food or energy. And that would be, if you're near any kind of production of energy, typically there's some kind of disruption to your world, whether you're near windmills listening to the sound or chopping up birds, whether you're near solar panels where they spread them out all over the place and they harm endangered desert tortoises or other things of the land, or whether you're living near a coal mine, or whether you're living near, I guess nuclear, there's no issue except the fear factor for some people. But essentially with a farm, you can have farm runoffs, a lot of local impacts, but that's not what they're basing this on. They're basing the ending meat, and they're also pushing insects, which we can get to in a minute, but they're pushing it all on methane. And they're trying to say that methane is a much more potent greenhouse gas than carbon dioxide, and this is really deadly, and the methane explosion from cows burping and farting and et cetera. The problem is, and I have this in my book, Green Fraud, my new book out, if you go into it and you talk to the scientists, you look at the peer-reviewed literature, methane is called the irrelevant greenhouse gas. It is not going to cause any significant warming. It already has essentially petered itself out as a warming. So all of these are just scary predictions based on bad science. And even the mainstream scientists will acknowledge this on the climate change side. So this is based not on science of fear of climate. It's based on an imposition on trying to change our lifestyles. And a lot of this is the animal rights movement, who just doesn't think it's right for humans to eat any animals.
You know, that's very interesting because I know even hardcore vegans don't give a second thought to eradicating insects that might eat their precious vegetables. So it depends on where you are on the evolutionary scale when it comes to a life form to cherish and a life form to exterminate.
That's an excerpt from my daily show, The Ezra Levant Show. Every day I do a monologue on the news of the day, then I interview an interesting guest, and then I read my hate mail. You gotta subscribe. Go to rebelnews.com.